Voyage is a journey in the true sense of the word. It even takes us back more than 40 years ago, quite literally, with Just an Ocean. And one more time, they give us these glorious ABBA vocals from back in the days. Hey, so what is it with Just an Ocean? How does it work on Voyage? The song was the third and final single from Voyage before the album was released, and with that we were already familiar with more than half of the album's A-side. We even knew two songs back to back, the two final songs on side A, and yet for me at least, it still was an entirely unexpected experience to listen to them in context with the album. Because now it was all about the flow. I mentioned it before, there are at least two things that connected Little Things and Don't Shut Me Down. The children's choir and the children in the park, as well as the B-flat major chord that connects both songs musically. With Don't Shut Me Down and Just an Ocean, we also have two links. There is the fading piano that ends the one song and a dominant piano that starts the other. But we also have these lyrics in Don't Shut Me Down, how it's now and then combined, which is then followed by a song that truly combines now and then. Just an Ocean is not only a song that was written in 1978, but of course they even used the original vocals and added an entirely new backing track. So, as Björn said, it basically demonstrates what they plan to do with the Voyage show next year, where a live band plays to vocals from the old recordings. There are still rumors as to if ABBA did contribute new vocal recordings for their classic songs for the concerts, and the same debate is still open about this very song too, because the general consent tends towards the possibility that a few lines in Just an Ocean were re-recorded by the ladies, especially the final lines of the song. And these final lines, as with many songs on the album, capture yet another self-referential ambiguity, because it was kind of magical to hear them singing how in a moment that dream is about to come true, just a few days before that brand new ABBA album would arrive. It really was more than an ocean now. But let us also take a look into the lines that are definitely from 1978, and even here we find ambiguity that somehow fits so well. Just a funny feeling deep inside that you're out there waiting. There's something happening that I just can't explain. It is our destiny, there's nothing we can do, and tonight is very special, it's a night for me and you. It certainly was such a night when I was listening to Voyage for the very first time. So even though these lyrics are from 1978, for me they fit seamlessly into the album. Now let's also take a look into the style and musical layers. I said that this song takes us back in time, and in this case we're not only back to the 70s with their original vocals, but, as so often with ABBA's music, they even transcend time with their vast variety of styles and genres, even further back another 2 decades, where Boogie Woogie uplifted the dance band scenes. There was a wonderful comment here on YouTube recently about this song. Gary S. said that he loves this track with its perfect combination of classic ABBA, 1960s era Phil Spector and Motown, all wrapped into one glorious and irresistible masterpiece, a true favorite from him. And as old-fashioned as those styles might suggest, for me at least, Just an Ocean is a very coherent part of Voyage. The album is full of many different styles, and this is yet another one. It is also the only time on the album that an up-tempo song, in this case Don't Shut Me Down, is followed by another up-tempo song, Just an Ocean. The rest of the album is a consistent variation between up-tempo and slower type songs or ballads. Now why is Just an Ocean the coherent part of the album when it breaks that consistency? Because in my opinion, that's what makes side A the generally more uplifting and joyful half, while side B is more thoughtful and serious. It's exactly what defines the two contrasting sides of Voyage, and Just an Ocean is the crucial link. It ends side A on a joyful note, and the fade-out, the only real fade-out on the entire album, is absolutely perfect for this. It prolongs that joy and mood for dancing just slightly longer. Again, this is not a fact, it is simply my very own perspective and opinion, and for me, there is no doubt that they finally made this song work. When I was listening to the original version of the song again recently, I was quite surprised. It felt as if I was more familiar with the new version, while the old mix felt quite strange. I always thought it was okay at best, there certainly was something missing. But now it feels even weaker than before, and proved to me just how good they nailed the song with this new version for Voyage. They do it with much better mixing of the vocals and harmonies, but also with their secret weapon we discussed last time, drive. The song moves forward and never stops or lacks energy. When we listen to the isolated tracks from the Dolby Atmos mix of the album, we notice a synthesizer during the first half of the song, which is heavily increased in the second half. Take a listen to this. You also notice the vocal harmonies by Björn and Benny, which are very present here. During that second half, we also have Benny, who is really giving it all on his piano, tinkling away and building the energy by counterpointing the overall instrumentation and really complementing the amazing brass sections. And we also have the sound of an e-guitar that is very similar to the one from When You Danced With Me. Now let's take a closer listen again to the first section of the song, and we can very clearly recognize Björn on harmony vocals, maybe even a mix between Björn and Benny. It's amazing how much work went into this song, and interestingly enough, the synthesizer hook reminded me heavily of a song entirely unrelated to ABBA, but it is Magneto and Titanium Man from Paul McCartney and Wings. The ending of the song was totally unexpected, with the drums pausing for a moment, followed by that brand new culmination of the song. It's a perfect closure for me, and the fade out leads to silence and to the end of the first half of Voyage. You might have guessed it, I love and celebrate Just an Ocean, and I genuinely loved it from those very first snippets we got in the week leading up to the release of the single. In fact, with every new listen, I enjoy it even more and more. It really lifts the mood and makes me want to dance. This is simply my opinion, I'm neither right nor wrong with this, and I'm looking very much forward to your thoughts. Until then, I will turn around that vinyl so we can dive into the second half of Voyage next time with I Can Be That Woman. Alright, until then, hey do!